Hey guys, perhaps you got a cell phone or tablet for the holiday season and you're wondering which apps might make me a better musician. Here's my list. Okay, up first we have an app called Multi-Timer, and this is super useful for both counting up and counting down things. For example, if we're practicing our long tones, say we want to do it for 2 minutes, we just tap it right there and it starts counting at 2 minutes, and it'll give a little alarm when it's done, which is pretty awesome. Okay, now another way that you can time things is counting up. So say you want to work on your recital music and you just want to track how long you're doing it for. So I'm going to tap that and it'll just count up until we stop it. If you need to take a break or something, you can just pause it and then come back to it, which is really, really great. So another thing I really like to use this app for is time management. So for example, here I have playing marimba, playing video games, surfing the internet, and a clock. And if you track where your time is going, you'd be surprised how much time you might waste doing some things versus others. Or you may be surprised, you'll sit down to practice and it'll feel like it's been an hour and you'll look and it's only been 25 minutes. So this is a great way to just track how long you're doing certain things. Up next is any kind of spreadsheet app. So numbers, Excel, Google Sheets, something like that. So what I have here is I just have some marimba technique. I have the time that I've practiced, and I have this particular exercise, and I track how fast I can play it on each day that I sit down to practice, which is really awesome. So you can just have so much stuff here, and you can even use it as a practice journal. For example, over here I have my hands start tensing up at 170 beats per minute. Well, that's useful to know, so next time I maybe won't go that fast. Okay, so you can track your stuff over time. And if you're really into like charts and stuff, you can chart your progress over time, which is pretty awesome. You can also make use of multiple sheets to track different things. So here I have my snare drum technique. Don't forget your cheese triplet pad of fla-flas, y'all. So you can put as many of these as you want, and that is super helpful. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not recommend Tenuto. This is from musictheory.net, and it's really awesome. It allows you to practice just so many interesting things in your musical training. For example, if you want to do keyboard identification, as a marimba player, this is super helpful. So you can actually just tap right on the keyboard what note it is. And here's an A. Nice tritone there. So yeah, so this is really, really helpful. And they have all kinds of useful ear training, and they have stuff for guitar, and you can test yourself on chord identification. It's just a really, really great way to get better and stronger as a musician. Okay, up next we have two programs that are from the same company. It's called Tempo and Tempo Advanced. So Tempo is just like a basic metronome. It has all your standard metronome features. Okay, so you can change your subdivision, you can change your time signature, they have a whole bunch. You can activate and deactivate certain sounds, which is pretty cool. Now, one of the things that I really like about this is you can do an automator. So this will increase 2 BPM every 10 bars. And you can change any of that. So that is really, really, really handy. Another feature that's really great is called the set list. Okay, so for the set list, you can store any sort of pattern that you want and then just tap it. So for a triplet pattern, I have this. And then say I have a different exercise that's 16th note based. Well, I've already got the settings stored in here. And that's really awesome. So you can program all of your exercises, your music. You can do an entire marching band show in here, which is pretty great. Now, Tempo Advanced has all those same features plus a lot more. The interface is really interesting. So you drag your finger up top to add strong beats, and then you drag your finger on the bottom to add subdivided beats, which is really, really cool. So you can make any combination of time signatures that you want, and it's pretty great. And what's really cool is you can change the sounds of the subdivision. So take this one right here. You can just take out that middle subdivision or give it a slightly different accent. Now this also has all of the same features as the other ones, such as the set list. So here's an infamous snare drum exercise called 7/8 paradiddle, which is pretty cool. So you can program multiple things in here, which is really, really great. I would be remiss if I did not mention Tonal Tuner. This app just has everything. It's so awesome. It does so many things. So I have my handy dandy flute right here, but I'm just gonna play just a B flat and see where we are. Okay, so that's quite a bit sharp. Might pull out just a little bit. And you get a nifty little happy face if you're doing it right. Now what's really neat is it has just so many features. Okay, so here is like a pitch wheel kind of thing. And that's really great. So I actually use this to tune timpani. So you can either use the tuner itself, or you can just have it sustain a note. and then tune the timpani to that particular note, which is really great. You can also do drones in here, and you can set your temperament to just temperament, which is awesome, and then you have perfectly balanced chords. Instead of equal temperament, which sounds like this. Crunchy. Another really neat feature is that you can change your instrument and it will automatically do the transposition. So bassoon is an instrument that's in C, E flat clarinet is in E flat, and it automatically changes the transposition. So if you tap a G, it's a G for that instrument, not concert pitch. If you want to really activate your inner geek, you can do some frequency analysis of what you're playing. And I actually find this not to be super handy, but if you go to the harmonics right here, this will really allow you to see what your tone sounds like visually. So you can see your ratio of your fundamental note here on the left and all of its harmonics. So if I get that flute back out, so that's pretty cool. Now, it also has a mode that lets you see your notes on a staff. Now, it also includes a metronome that will do just a number of things. It's got a lot of presets. It's got a lot of different mixed meter stuff. It has pretty much anything that most people would need. Okay, yeah, that one's a little weird. 6/4. And you can actually access this when you're in tuner mode by going to the upper right-hand corner, which is pretty awesome. Now, if you're looking for something a little more simple and perhaps free, there's an app called Bandmate Tuner, and that is a free app that will show you the note that you're playing on the staff. For example, for here, I'll select flute. Still a bit sharp. Gotta work on my flute low range. I'm a percussionist. All right, up next is an app called Fourscore, and it is really amazing. It allows you to store all of your music in one place. So right here I have back here, I have a set list of every band that I teach and my solo marimba stuff, my stuff for the orchestra, and you can arrange all of your music in here. So say for 8th grade band. So here's all the stuff that we're playing, and I actually put in PDFs of both the score and the parts. So if I want the score, here we go. But if I want to sit down and play tenor sax, I just load up the parts and then I can find the tenor sax part. There we go. It's so handy to have. You can just put so much music on here, really an infinite quantity of music, which is really great. It's also, I mean, it's got a ton of tools. This could probably get its own video. There's so many great things. So you can use your Apple Pencil and then mark up really, really important things, like your chordal analysis. Don't mind my messy handwriting. You can highlight things, circle things. It's just so great. And you can erase it all at will. It's just so amazing. I love it. It does have a built-in metronome that's very simple. So that's pretty cool. And it just has a lot of really, really neat and useful things. Plus, I enjoy the ability to zoom in and see stuff because my eyes aren't so great. And when you play marimba, it sits very, very far away from your face. So it's really, really handy to zoom in and take a look at things a little bit more clearer. Another feature that I really, really like is links. So here I have the Essential Elements book for the conductor. And this book has a zillion pages. So this blue note right here, this little blue dot, if I press that, it will jump ahead several pages to wherever we happen to be that day, which is awesome. Because otherwise you'd have to tap or hit the center and drag the slider on the bottom, which is okay. But having like a little assignable button is great. And you can make these buttons do all kinds of things. You can actually put a pitch pipe with buttons. So if you're playing timpani, for example, you can put all the notes that you need on those buttons, which is really fantastic. Now this program will allow you to scan music, but I highly recommend a different app for scanning music that's a lot faster and easier to use. So TurboScan will let you scan in documents, and it's just so fast at doing it. And there you go. Beautifully scanned document that you can then import into Fourscore. Okay, and last but not least, the number one, the most useful and the most important app on your device is the camera. Those of you who are my age, you know that when phones first had cameras, they were terrible at recording music. Like the microphones would clip and it would sound awful and crunchy and But nowadays, the microphones and the cameras are extremely good. So even on a very loud instrument like snare drum or marimba, I can record it and it'll sound pretty good. Now you can use this in all kinds of ways. Of course, you can watch yourself playing and evaluate your performance and see what you need to do better, but you can also use the slow motion feature to identify any weird technique problems you might be having. Or you can send the video to somebody else to get some feedback and critique on how you can improve. It is by far, I know it's maybe an obvious one, but it's by far the most useful app on your device. I really hope this video was helpful to you. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it, and bells if you want some more of it. I'll see you next time.